How's it going, everyone? It's Sam. Let's talk about the top altcoins to buy right now, or the top cryptos to buy just in general, right? Because we're actually approaching, or we are in now, the most bullish quarter of the 4-year cycle. This is typically where we hit all-time highs, and yet no one's really paying attention. I saw a post recently that was showing that altcoins, the number of searches for altcoins was spiking up, but that was over a very short time frame. When I'm looking at it now, like, people searching for Bitcoin is almost at a 1-year low. People searching for crypto also at basically a 1-year low. Altcoin also just around an 1-year low. There's basically no one paying attention. Sure, during the summer we started to get some excitement, and I can start to see like some volume picking up because the people that know what happens are getting more excited, right? The people that understand that this is the most bullish time of the 4-year cycle are starting to make big bets. But the majority of investors are not paying attention to crypto right now. And part of that might be because of the traditional markets. We'll talk about that a little bit. But this is typically a good time to be invested. So we're going to go through the top cryptos to buy right now. Of course, what I pick might not be what you pick, right? We all have different situations. We're all looking for different goals, or we're looking towards different goals. So my goals aren't your goals. My situation isn't yours, all that kind of stuff. All the disclaimers. I could be wrong. I can't see the future. Okay, that's enough though. We're going to go through it. Let me know which cryptos you're most bullish about down below in the comment section. If you do want to trade crypto, there's a link to BYDFi underneath the video. You can start trading right now. We have this trading giveaway where you can get up to $13,000 in bonuses. We constantly run these, right? These are not just for new people. This is for everyone that's ever signed up under my link that's attached to me. You can get money, and it's not like you have to get this $13,000 bonus. You can start with as little as $170 bonus if you trade less. So you might as well sign up now, get everything set up, get ready for Q4. This is how I go more risk on with my investments. I'll explain that a little bit more in the video too, but let's go through it. So right now, people aren't really paying attention to crypto that much, like the masses aren't, right? No one's searching for it. Now, as time goes on, I think naturally we won't maybe get as many people looking up altcoin, right? They might look up like the specific altcoin that they're interested in. But it's not like there's a giant new wave of investors right now. Altcoin actually went pretty crazy back in June. You can see it actually passed what we saw in 2021, which I would not have guessed. But the fact is, people just aren't that interested in crypto right now. Like, there aren't a lot of new investors. Sure, hedge funds and big money is investing in Bitcoin and Ethereum, and we have some companies buying Solana too. But when you zoom out, the last 10 months, Bitcoin's just gone up like 10%. And you compare that to the stock market, I think a lot of retail investors maybe get like shiny object syndrome. And the Nasdaq's at all-time highs, the S&P 500's at all-time highs. There are a handful of like retail favorite stocks that are, I'd say, more interesting from a price action standpoint than like Bitcoin and crypto right now. I mean, you look at Palantir, right? One of the most liked, or one of the most watched retail favorites, and it's up 18% in the last month, right? It's up more in the last month than Bitcoin's up in the last year. And Bitcoin just has these periods where it's very dull, and then it makes a big move up, and a lot of people pay attention to it. But they're not paying attention in the meantime. But Palantir's up 410% over the last year. 2,000% in the last 5 years. And honestly, it's like 2,000% in the last 2 years. So some people are just like really drawn to the stock market right now. And crypto, they're not quite as interested in. But that will change, right? We see it change very quickly, where all of a sudden, like, not many people were interested in altcoins. And then all of a sudden, the number of searches within 2 weeks, 3 weeks, goes up 10x. This is typically the most bullish quarter of the 4-year cycle. We hit all-time highs in Q4, and that's typically where we peak out. So people will come into crypto, which is why I want to make this video to kind of, first of all, anyone that's new that's seeing this that hasn't really dug into crypto before, you can know my thoughts. But then also for everyone that's been around, if you're looking to allocate towards altcoins, I want to give you my thoughts too. Now, to be clear before we start, I am 90+% into Bitcoin specifically. Bitcoin, because I bought a lot during the bear market. I bought a lot during the beginning of the bull market. And it's done really well, first of all. So it's grown faster than almost every other altcoin. There have only been a couple altcoins that have outperformed Bitcoin. But then also, I just wanted something that I thought still had a good amount of upside, but wasn't quite as risky. And, since I bought the majority of my Bitcoin, it's up like 3x, 4x. Right? I was buying at the bottom, but I bought even more when Bitcoin was like around 30,000. So it is a large portion of my portfolio, and I don't really want to sell it. So just to be clear, I do have altcoins, but the majority of my portfolio is Bitcoin, and I still think it's probably over a long period of time, the best risk-adjusted return of all cryptos. Now, in short periods of time, like Q4, altcoins typically outperform. So something like Ethereum, I think could do really well. So Bitcoin kind of weighs down my portfolio. I think Ethereum is bound to do really well this cycle, especially in the coming months. And I say Q4. I think we could get into Q1 of next year, even longer, right? It's not like we have to peak out this quarter. That's just what's happened the last 3 cycles. But if the Fed continues to lower rates, we continue to see the money supply go up, the economy is still doing well, we could go longer. But I'm kind of focused on Q4 for altcoins because that's what we've seen in the past. So Ethereum still down from its all-time high that was just reached a month and a half ago. We went up to about 4,900. So we're down about 10% from all-time highs. We barely reached a new all-time high for Ethereum, right? Barely. So I still think we have a lot of room left in the tank, especially once we get staking for the ETFs, which could be coming here in the next month or two. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of big entities want to put money in Ethereum because it's a very quickly growing asset, first of all. Or it's very volatile, right? A lot of upside. But also you can get 3 to 5% staking returns, which is very attractive to big entities, to hedge funds as well. I think we could see large inflows. And then with the price moving up, I think it'll be much easier for like Bitmine and other Ethereum treasury companies to buy more Ethereum, because when the price is really volatile, it's easier for them to raise more capital. So we could kind of have a reflexive loop. I would not be surprised to see Ethereum hit $1 trillion market cap or just short of it, right? Something like, we're nearing $10,000 and then maybe we get a decent sized pullback. And that's kind of what I'd be looking for. Maybe I'll double up from here. Some people are much more aggressive than that. Keep in mind though that Ethereum was just 1,600 like in April. So a double up from here is still like a 5x in less than a year, or even more than that, a 6-7x. So I think it will do well, but I don't think you're going to get like a 3-4x on Ethereum this cycle. I could be wrong, right? Maybe it hits 13,000. That's a 3x from here though. And that would put it like in the top 10 of all assets, right, in terms of market cap. So I guess it could get up there. A lot of people are betting on it because it's kind of like the base layer of crypto. The most network activity happens on Ethereum as well. From there, XRP, right? XRP, I think will do well as well. It's down 24% from its all-time high that was reached earlier this year. The XRP army, as they are called, is very strong. Like the people that buy XRP absolutely love XRP. So I think it can pump very quickly. That's what we've seen in the past. Like every time it pumps very aggressively and then it doesn't do anything for a while. This is actually the first time where we've seen like it pump and then come down a little bit and then pump again. We typically see just one massive pump. Like here, 2017 went from 24 cents to $3.36 in a very short period of time. Here it went from 44 cents to $1.56, like a 4x. Here it went from 58 cents to $3 within a month. And now it's gone from $2 to $3.45 within, again, like 3 weeks. So we could see that again. I think we'll see a break to a new all-time high. I think it could do well. There are some people that say $20 this cycle. Maybe the bear market just made me more bearish, but I think generally when everyone's thinking the same price, it generally falls short. So I think a lot of people are thinking $10 to $20. I wouldn't be surprised to see this hit like 5, 6, 7, and then again have a big pullback, but I could always be wrong, right? I'm just trying to keep things, in the realm of possibility where people aren't pissed off if I say $20 and then it hits 16 or something like that. I just wouldn't bet on that, and that's kind of how I'm feeling right now. But again, things can change. We could see a lengthened cycle. Maybe we see much better prices than I think. Solana, I think, is another one to bet on. You'll notice that I'm picking out some of the largest cryptos, right? I think these cryptos will see ETFs get approved, and we'll see actual inflows. Like maybe there's an ETF for, I don't know, like Say or Render or Plasma or something like that. I don't think they'll get much in terms of inflows though. These top 10 cryptos, I think, could actually see decent sized inflows. And I'd rather bet on Solana or XRP or Ethereum rather than the 60th largest crypto. And sure, like there are some cryptos I'm actually interested in, like BitTensor, and there are some smaller ones I hold too. Right? I hold like 2 or 3 smaller cryptos that are sub 100 million, which I might not even mention in this video, or maybe I'll just mention their names towards the end. But like BitTensor, the largest AI specific crypto, I think could do really well. It's at a $3 billion market cap. Definitely could jump up significantly this cycle. But again, I'm covering more of the large ones because where I take extra risk is by using leverage. So I'd rather trade something like Bitcoin at 3x leverage than try to nail like the 87th largest crypto at the perfect time on the bottom, sell at the perfect time on the top, because that's very difficult. It's very difficult to know where it's going to go. It's very difficult to get in and out at the right time. And then you have to pay taxes too, which you have to do with leverage trading too. But if I 3x Bitcoin from here, let's say I open up a 3x on Bitcoin at 117,000, right? It would have to fall down $40,000 for me to get liquidated, or $39,000. Right? So that would put me at like a liquidation point of $76,000. We have not been there in months. Now, I'm not saying we can't fall down there, but we'd have to go down 33% from where we are right now. I don't think that's very likely, at least during the bull run. Right? And if that's the case, I would just add extra leverage. But we've held up much stronger. And then on the upside, let's say Bitcoin goes up 50%. Well, I just made 150% return. So I'd rather, put leverage on positions like Bitcoin, Solana, Ethereum, and take extra risk there. And then I don't really have to do any more due diligence or anything like that. When you buy like a smaller crypto, you have to know where to buy it. You have to know when to buy it. You have to know when to sell it. You have to think about taxes. You also have to pay attention to a lot more assets, right? Which can be difficult too, especially if you're buying small cryptos, and then like you have to worry about fees as well, because I've had it where I had like a $500 gain on some terrible like small cap crypto, some meme coin, and I didn't sell it because I had like a $400 fee if I sold it on Ethereum, and yeah, then it went down to zero, so I should have sold it anyways. But something to consider too. And then there's just extra risk too when you're using hot wallets that something could happen. So moving down the list, Solana, right? Sorry for the tangent there. Solana, $220, still down significantly from its peak earlier this year. When Trump came into office, it went up to like $295, right? So down 25% from there. If we get a Solana ETF, I think this is one of the, again, I think it's one of the cryptos that hedge funds, big entities are still looking to buy, because it's like a quicker version of Ethereum, right? And people understand that, cheaper version of Ethereum. You start getting much further down the list, and I don't think it's very attractive to hedge funds to buy into a $7 billion market cap or something like that. But Solana is $120 billion. So there's still room where like it's attractively priced, at least compared to Ethereum. It's still like 1/4 the size. But it's big enough that they can put in a couple $100 million without moving the price up 10-20% and then having retail sell on them. So I think Solana could do really well. Cardano, I don't know if we'll see a lot of money flow into the ETFs. I still think there's a narrative there where you can say, well, it's like a scientific version of Ethereum or Solana. They don't move quick and break things. They test everything out. But it's a $30 billion market cap, which, typically people think, oh, that really helps how much it will go up. But again, I don't think large money is going to be willing to buy something maybe that small, at least not put in, $1 billion over a couple months. They're not going to do that. But I still think Cardano could do well. It's 73% off of its high, so there's not much retail excitement. I think something's got to change with Cardano for it to see large amounts of interest from retail investors. Chainlink, one of the best cryptos that never pumps. It's at a $15 billion market cap, but it's spread throughout all of crypto. So I think it will just kind of melt up with the rest of the market. Avalanche, $13 billion market cap, 80% away from its all-time high. It went to $145 in the past, but only $30 right now. I think this will probably see its some time in the sun. It will do well at some point too. Sui, 35% away from its all-time high, which it hit this year. Sui's one of the most volatile cryptos out there, and it's performed really well. You can see it's consolidating above some recent peaks, or above some recent lows, like local lows. Went down to $2, and that's a new higher low at $2.73, and now it's like $3.30 pretty consistently. I would not be surprised to see this move up significantly too. I think this is one of the new retail favorites, like top 4, top 5 cryptos that people are constantly looking at. I think this will do well during the bull run, and this is one of the smallest cryptos that I'm leverage trading these days. But I definitely have lower leverage on Sui because it's so volatile. It has 30% moves constantly, which is a risk when you're kind of taking my approach of a hands-off leverage, low leverage approach. I don't want to put 4x leverage on this and then have it get liquidated. So I have a lot of 2x positions on this and maybe 3x leverage position. And to be clear, these are not all my leverage positions. Every single exchange I have listed underneath, and even some that I don't have listed underneath, I have levered positions on. Right? So I use a lot of different exchanges because I want to try out different platforms, see what I like. And right now I've been liking BYDeFi, as I said before. One of my favorite things about this platform is the fact that I know someone that works with them, so I can get like automatic answers to all my questions. Same thing with everyone that's in the Telegram, in the whale chat. So if you have any questions, you can join the Telegram underneath. It's completely free. I post like some updates on trades there and some exclusive videos. I haven't done an exclusive video in a little while, but I post updates on trades, and the bigger traders, people that trade a decent amount, can join the whale chat. We have 20 people in there right now, but we can have 50 in there easily. They can ask questions to the person that works with and at BYDeFi. So if you have any questions or concerns, you get automatic answers pretty much. I would say give him a day, just because, sometimes he sleeps, but he's almost always awake when I'm awake. So yeah, he's very quick at posting and replying in there. But yeah, this is where I take extra risk. I do have coin M positions too that are looking pretty juicy. 66% up, 22.97. This is where you can actually get more crypto. So you can put crypto into trades, and then you can get rewarded in crypto. But USDT M is where I do even more trades. But again, if you want to start trading, there's a link to this underneath the video. Let me know what cryptos I missed out on. Again, I'm really focused on the larger cap. I think larger cap are definitely less risky. And I think people are kind of fed up with the low caps. Maybe we get to that point, though, where we get extreme greed in the crypto market again, and then people are looking for really good returns and then move further down the line to the small caps. That's typically what happens. But a lot of people got burned last cycle. So I think people are more willing to put in larger sums of money, but go bigger cap and then not have to worry about selling as many cryptos. That's kind of where I'm at. That's where a lot of my friends are at too, where like, yeah, we might have a couple bets that are smaller caps, but we're not holding 20 cryptos anymore. We're holding like 3 large size positions and then maybe 2 to 5 smaller positions. But let me know your thoughts on all this underneath the video. I really do appreciate you watching, and I'll see you in the next.